So we're going to work on the Girl One wig, opening wig for the book. The section is called Storm, and it's a very long black wig that we are going to basically pull the sides up. And in this mohawk section here, we're going to back comb and give it a little bit of volume. Tease it in there, and we're going to pull the sides up so that it almost looks like a faux hawk. So the first thing we're going to do is, I like to section off 3 sections. We're going to do like the mohawk section, which is going to be from like the temples back, maybe 4 inches back, leaving the 2 sides as my other sections, 2 sections. So sections 1, 2, and 3, and 3 on the other side. So I'm going to section off my section in the middle temple area. Also, you can kind of gauge it by the way that this wig is built. It's very subtle, but the way that the hairline is, it goes from a point, and then it kind of curves, and then it goes to another point right here. Then it curves and goes to like another point right here. And we're going to go from halfway in between these 2 points. And we're going to call that our mohawk section. So we're going to brush this down out of the way. So halfway between these 2 points, I'm sorry, these 2 points is here. Sorry, you can't see. This point here and this point here. Halfway in between. And this is our mohawk section. So take clean sections. Make sure you part them pretty clean. So here, back, say 3 inches back. This much. And then straight across. Another way you can gauge it, there is a weft that begins right here where additional hair was added when I built this wig. You can see that weft right there. Section back to that weft. And then we will tie this section off and clip it off with a butterfly clip. Brush all the tangles out. And I would say, let's just put a rubber band, like an elastic tie, on this section. That way, this section, we can work on that later. So now we have, hold on, I'm getting this all wrapped around my tripod stand. Here's our middle section. All right, let's put this back down here. And we're gonna just part all the way down to the corner, to the edge of the hairline. Straight down. Straight down. We can clip all this back because we don't need this. We are going to make sure the tangles are out of this section. So the tangles are out of this section. I'm just going to clip this off and we will deal with that in a minute. And 1, 2, let's find our third section. So we're going to just part all the way down to the edge of the hairline, straight down basically. I'm going to brush all the tangles out of this section. Clip this off. So we have our 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so let me go and tidy up the back so that we don't get that all tangled up because it's extremely long and thick. So what I'm going to do is, sorry. What I'm going to do is brush all of the tangles out of the back section. Start at the bottom and work your way up. Get underneath. And I'm going to use another hair tie, and I'm just going to tie this section off so that it's out of the way. All right. So now that we have our sections, we are going to take this section, and like I said, it's meant to look like this is pulled up. Up like this and pinned back, but we need to give it a little bit of back combing in here so that it doesn't look so flat, just to give it a little bit of shape, because that's really severe. It's flat. So I'm just going to back comb in here just to give it a little cushion so that we'll have a little bit of a, a little bit of a contour in this, so that when we do pin it back, it won't be so tight. So in back combing, I always take nice clean sections, and they don't have to be super thick. So I'm going to start at the very back of this section. Let's turn it so you can see. So I'm going to start at the very back of this section and take a little, probably like a 1/4 inch section. We'll just twist this out of the way. And we're just dealing with this section. It's not really thick. You can see how thin it is just because you can see through it. And when I say back comb, we're going to tease it. And we're probably going to give it about this much tease, maybe an inch worth of tease. So what you want to do is hold it out, brush all the tangles out. Hold it out, and you want enough tension in the hair where you can hold it, but not too tight, where if you brush it, it's not it's not going to back comb. So you just have to play with the tension. Hold it so that it's tight enough. And we are basically, and I'm only pushing the hair towards the root. Pushing, pushing, pushing. It doesn't take a lot of rigorous, you know, you can do it really soft and it will still have the same effect. So this is about 1 inch worth of tease there. You can see how it sticks out from the tease. All right, so that's one section. I will take a section in front of that, a nice thin slice. Also, one thing that I always do is whenever I do back comb and I tease the section, brush out the ends so that they'll be clean and they'll be ready to smooth later. So tease the root, brush out the rest of the hair, let it hang. All right, next section, next slice. Smooth it out first. All right, we got it smoothed out. We are going to go up about 3 inches and we're going to slightly push the hair towards the base of the wig until we have about 1 inch worth of cushion, and then we will smooth out the rest. And we'll let that hang. We'll do one more section, one more slice, and we will let this, we won't tease this because this is the nice smooth section that's going to cover up all of that teasing that we've done. So we'll leave that and we will take a thin sliced section, go up about 3 inches and push toward the root until we have about 1 inch worth of back comb cushion, and then we will smooth out the ends. All right, so we have 3 sections that we have back combed. We can go ahead and brush all of those ends together. And actually, we're gonna brush the whole thing together. So take the section that you didn't, the very front section that we didn't back comb, and we're not gonna comb all the way through to the back comb part of it because we don't wanna comb out all that teasing that we just put in. We just want to make sure we smooth that top layer over. So I'm not digging this brush all the way through. I'm lightly at an angle, kind of just smoothing the hairs on top. So now, as you can see, we're gonna pull this back and it has a little bit of a cushion in here that you can go and lift up if you feel like you need a little bit more so that it doesn't lay so flat and unrealistic against the scalp. All right, and I'm literally taking this nice smooth section and I'm going towards the center. This is the section. I'm laying it across. And here's the center of the wig. Let's see if I can angle this down a little bit. This is my section. Here's the center of the wig. I'm just gonna crisscross some pins here so we can lock this in place. So pin that there. And crisscross the pins so that we don't pull it out. And it locks these pins in place. And now you can take this piece, this is the other end of it, and you can just drape it down because it will all get brushed into the long hair that hangs. But this is the side that's pulled back. I don't do any hairspraying until the very end. I use this as a holding tool and not a styling tool. So I get it all styled the way that I want it to be. And then after it's styled and smooth, then I spray this to lock it in place. Because if you start spraying this, it's gonna get really tacky, really messy, and you're gonna have a lot of hairspray buildup that you don't need. So leave this to the very end. All right, so we got one side done. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. All right, and I'm going to start with the thin slice section at the back of this little section. I'm having to do this one backwards, so it might be a little difficult, but we'll see, 3 inches up, and we are going to push the hair towards the root so that you have about 1 inch worth that hangs. You see how it sticks out? You have 1 inch worth that kind of sticks out right there. All right, so we'll smooth the ends without brushing all of this tease out that we just put in. So smooth the ends and let that sit there. Take another section in front, another slice. Same thing. Push, 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 then smooth the ends. Take a third and final section. Leave this section so we can cover up all the tees. Smooth it out. 3 inches up, push that down. And voila, this section has been teased. It's all like sticking out with the tees there. Well, with the tees there. So now we can go ahead and take the front section and brush it all together without brushing the tees out. Actually, I'm gonna stand up so that you can see. I'm just using the side of my brush. Instead of digging straight in, I'm using the side to kind of smooth it up. Make sure you get the ends nice and smooth. And this, we can take this and we can pin it in the middle and overlap the section that we've already pinned. So let's see if I can angle this. So here's the pins from before. We're gonna hold this over top right here. I can feel them underneath, and I'm just gonna crisscross pins directly on top of that. Hopefully all of this stuff will lock into place. These pins overlapping. And you can pin one direction going this way, and we can pin another direction going this way to help lock it in place as well. So that pin is pushed down open this way. I'm going to switch it and lock it up this way. Crisscross them. And now that we have this secured, we can let this drape towards the back, and we'll brush all that in together. This is the section. This is the other section. We'll brush it all in together so that it hangs and falls smooth. Actually, let's go ahead and take the hair tie out. We'll brush it all together and put the hair tie back on. All right. So that's pulled up to the side. That's pulled up to the side. And now all we have is this centerpiece here. And we have to back comb this section. And this section, after it's back combed, it will just drape over and hang towards the back. So leave it hanging forward, and we will start at the back again and start back combing. I'm going to stand up for this section. I'm sorry, I keep dropping the phone. No, it's this upside down. There you go. Sorry about that. All right. All right, so here is the front section. And this is the right side of the wig. So I'm going to smooth all of this hair out to make it manageable. Smooth out the ends. And then I'm going to take a thin section in the back. And then let this hang in the front. So this thin section, smooth it out. 3 inches from the base of the wig, we're going to push the hair so that we make a 1-inch cushion. So push that hair this way. All right, we have our inch cushion here. So smooth out the ends. We tied this in a ponytail at the very back here. Hold on, I'm all tangled up. All right, so we tied this in a ponytail in the very back. So when we let this fall, it will be separated from those pieces, so which is a good thing. We can deal with that separately. All right, so that's our first teased section. We are going to go and brush this all out again. And take another thin section. Smooth it. And same thing, 3 inches up, 4 inches up. And we're gonna push the hair down towards the base so that we have an inch cushion. You could do front and back for the middle section. So inch cushion in the front, inch cushion in the back, then smooth out everything else. And let that hang. We are going to do one final section of tease, and we are still going to leave the very front of this without tease so that we can use this clean hair, the smooth hair, to cover up all of the tease that we've done. It's already kind of high. You can see the volume that we've already built into it. But let's do one more section so that there won't be a gap in between the hairline and the section that we've already teased. So one more section. Oh gosh. All right, one more section. Brush the ends so that they are smooth. Then we're going to take a thin section and leave the front section free. And we will smooth the ends. And then we will back comb the front and the back. Smooth the ends. And then we will let it hang. This is all the hair that the front third section. So let's gather all of that hair and smooth all the ends out without brushing out the back comb section. If you want, you can ever so slightly kind of brush this teased part so that it's not so unruly, but try not to brush the teasing out. So I'm just trying to gather it all so that it's all going in the same direction. And make sure the back is smooth, the ends are smooth. And we are going to pick up the section in the very front that we did not tease. I'm going to brush that into this section to cover up all of the teasing that we did. Again, use the edge of your brush to make sure I'm catching the pins. All right, make sure you're using the edge of the side edge to kind of smooth over the hair to get all of the little frays out of the way. And voila. So what we will do now is drape this over. So you have a little gap right here, and we're just going to take the little edges of this, tuck in any of the comb, the little tease section that's sticking out, tuck it under. And I'm just going to put a pins in place here. Another thing you can do before you do that, you can actually put like a open pin there, just to hold that in place. Just to hold that in place so that you can pin it so that it's secure. So we'll just put a pin there. Here's another pin for the other side. Use your finger and tuck any of the back combing under and smooth that over and put a pin here to kind of hold this in place temporarily. So without any pins in here, this is what the style will look like. All of this will hang in the back. You will have this section here that's been teased that comes up that's really smooth, and the sides are pulled back. The sides are pulled back and up under this section that hangs over and drapes over the top of the pins. All right, so I'm going to get some pins, and we are going to start pinning to lock this into place, the top section. And you really want to push these pins in deep enough so that they kind of lock into the pins that you have underneath that are crisscross underneath. All of these pins should lock in together. You can feel it lock whenever you push them in deep enough. And it takes more than one. That one pin isn't going to hold all this. You have to really go through and pin a good bit. I'm mixing these bobby pins, which are closed. I'm mixing those with these hairpins, which are open, which will, and these are invisible, so when you push these in, you don't see these. So I'm mixing both of those together. All of these little, we can go through and smooth all of the little flyaways after we have everything pinned and in place. So you can kind of brush them up just so that they're uniform and nice and neat. And make sure you don't brush down all that teasing that you did. You can use the end of the rat tail comb to kind of puff it back out. But that's that. All right. Same thing on the other side. We didn't use any bobby pins. We just put this pin here to kind of anchor it temporarily. So let's go ahead and get some bobby pins and start pinning this so that we can hear that and feel it lock with the other pins on the inside. All right, a couple of these hairpins. All right, so now that we've gotten this all pinned up, after we've gotten this all pinned up, we can go ahead and take this elastic hair tie out and let it all hang. And we will brush it all together. Get all the tangles out. And that's another reason why you should be brushing the tangles out as you go, so that when you get to this part, you don't have a nest of tangles in there, and it's easier to get the remaining tangles out of the top layers. So this is what she looks like. Now we will go through and we will get these hairs that have gotten pulled out of place. We will get those situated and we will spray her, and then we will add our color to the hairline, temporary color to the hairline. So all the tangles are out. Put this back down. I'm going to remove the little temporary pins here so that we can smooth and spray. You have to learn how to gently brush the top layers of the hair so that you're not disturbing all of the teasing that you've done underneath. So I'm basically not digging my comb all the way in and through to the root, just kind of grazing the top layers. All right. So this is ready to be sprayed. Take our hairspray. Take our hairspray. And we're going to spray the sides first. And use the side of your comb to smooth any of the flyaways without digging into the actual hair. We'll get the other side now. And same thing. All right, allow that to dry, and we will spray the top now. What you see from this angle. And we will smooth the flyaways. Notice that I only sprayed from here to, I sprayed from here to here with hairspray, so that this stuff in the back, it still hangs and flows without hairspray, but it's stiff from here to here to keep this all in place. So now that you've already gotten this sprayed and everything, go ahead and put your T-pins back in just to hold it. Oh gosh. Put your T-pins back in just to hold it. And this is done and ready to be colored. I'll come back and show you how to color it.